I'm Anita Sampaskumar, working as an assistant professor in Department of Electrical and Electronic Department. Now we're going to take about electrical machine storm alternators. Here, synchronous generator is an AC machine. The AC machine is divided into synchronous machine and asynchronous machines. Synchronous generator and synchronous motors. It is a primary source of electrical energy. This is used for synchronous motor is used as a power factor compensator. Asynchronous machine is almost used for induction machines, induction generator and induction motor. Due to lack of separate field excitation, these machines are rarely used as generators. Most widely used electrical motors in both domestic and industrial applications. Synchronous generators. Types of synchronous machines. According to the arrangement of the field and the armature winding, synchronous machines may be classified as stationary armature rotating field above 5 kilovolt ampere, stationary field rotating armature below 5 kilovolt ampere. The advantage of stationary armature rotating field. The high voltage AC winding and its insulation not subjected to centrifugal forces. That is 11 kV to 33 kV. Better insulation it has. Easy to collect large currents from a stationary member. Rotating field makes more overall construction simple. Problem of sparking at the slip ring can be avoided. Ventilation arrangement for high voltage can be improved. The low voltage, that is 110 to 220 DC excitation, easily supplied through slip rings and brushes to the rotor field windings. Noiseless running is possible. Air gap length is uniform. Better mechanical balancing of the rotor. So better insulation. It is easy to collect large currents. Construction is simple. Sparking problem is avoided. Ventilation is better. Low voltage DC excitation easily supplied through slip rings and brushes to the rotor field. Noiseless running is possible. Air gap length is uniform. Better mechanical balancing of the rotor. Construction of the alternator. An alternator has three-phase winding on the stator and DC field winding on the rotor. Stator, stationary part of the machine. It is built up of steel sheets. Lamination core stampings with slots to hold the armature conductors. Armature winding is connected in star. This is a laminated core with slots and the steel is housing this one. Stator. Stator core, this is a coils, iron core, coil, slots, and end windings. Coils are placed in the slots. The coil end windings are bent to form the armature windings. Rotor. There are two types of rotors. One is called as a salient pole rotor, that is a projected poles. The other one is called as a non-salient pole type, non-projected poles, smooth cylindrical type. Salient pole type is projected poles. It is also called projected poles. Poles are mounted on the circular frame. Made up of thick steel laminations, windings are connected in series. End of the field windings are connected to the DC supply through slip rings. Feature is large diameter and short axial lengths. Poles are laminated to reduce eddy current losses. It is employed for low and medium speed 120 RPM to 500 RPM. It is usually used in diesel and hydraulic turbines. This cannot be used for large speed machines. It is also called projected poles. Okay, poles are mounted on the circular frame. Made up of thick steel lamination, field windings are connected in series. End of the field windings are connected to the DC supply through slip rings. The feature of this is large diameter and short axial length. Poles are laminated to reduce eddy current losses. Employed for low and medium 120 RPM to 500 RPM, mainly used in diesel and hydraulic turbines. This cannot be used for large speed. Damper winding is mainly used. Pole faces are provided with damper windings. Damper winding is used for preventing hunting. EMF generated will be sinusoidal, and this is the copper bar that is used for the damper windings. Non-salient pole is smooth cylindrical or turbo alternators. Field winding is used in high-speed alternators driven by steam turbines. The feature of this is small diameter with a large axial length compared to salient pole type machines of the same ratings. Less winding loss. Speed is about 1200 RPM to 3000 RPM. Better balancing. Noise operations. Flux density is nearly sine wave. Frequency is 50 Hz. So NS is equal to 120 F by P. F is a frequency. So for now poles 4, 5, and 6, and usually the frequency is set to be 50 Hz. So the speed will be 3000, 1500, and 1000. This is the steel rings shaft, the DC current. This is the DC current terminals are there. This is the wedges. Field winding, rotor, end turn armature winding, stator, and flux path. This is the difference between salient pole versus non-salient pole. Now, EMF equation of an alternator. So, phi is the flux per Weber, P is the number of poles, Ns is the synchronous speed in RPM, Z is equal to total number of conductors or coils in the phase. Z is equal to 2T. T is equal to number of coils or turns per phase. TPH is the turns in series of phases, number of slots into number of conductors per slot divided by 2 into 3. ZPH is equal to conductor per phase. ZPH is equal to Z by 3 plus number of phases is equal to 3. Kc or Kp, pitch factor or coil span factor. Kd is distribution factor. Kp is equal to cos alpha by 2. Kd is equal to sin m beta by 2 divided by m sin beta by 2. So we're going to consider only a single conductor placed in a slot. So average EMF induced in the conductor will be equal to flux cut in one revolution divided by time taken for one revolution. So average induced for one conductor will be d phi by dt. So the total flux in one revolution d phi is equal to phi into p. The time taken for that this one will be equal to 60 divided by ns. So when I substitute this, the average EMF induced in the conductor is equal to d phi by dt. So for d phi, if I substitute 5 into p divided by 60 by ns, that is equal to 5p ns by 60. So we know that F is equal to P ns by 120 or ns is equal to 120 by F. So when I substitute over there, I get 2F5 volts. If there are Z conductors, I have considered now one conductors. Now I'm going to consider Z conductors. If there are Z conductors connected per phase, then average EMF per phase will be 2F5 into Z. We always know that one turn will consist of two conductors. So Z is equal to 2T. So average EMF per phase is equal to 2F5 into 2T. So 2 into 2 will give 4. So 4F5 into 2 volts. RMS value of the EMF per phase is equal to 1.1 into 4 into F into 5 into T volts. Form factor is equal to RMS value divided by average value. RMS value of EMF per phase will be equal to 4.4 into F into 5 into volts. So EMF RMS will be equal to 4.4 into F into 5 into T, because RMS is equal to form factor into average value. And I know that form factor, the value is equal to 1.11 into average value. So on substituting this, I get my EMF equation of my alternated to be 4.4 into F into 5 into T volts. The above equation is true only if the winding is concentrated in one slot. The winding for each phase under each pole is distributed. So you have to consider the value called Kp and Kd. The actual available voltage by force will be 4.4 into F into 5 into Tp into Kp into Kd volts. This is star connected voltage will be √3 into phase voltage. So consider single conductor placed in the slot. So EMF will be equal to E average will be flux in one revolution. Average will be d phi by dt. Now coming to this one, armature winding. Three-phase alternator carries three sets of winding arranged in the slots. Open circuit. So you have 6 terminals. So it can be neither connected in star or delta. Armature winding can be classified as single layer and double layer winding, full pitch and short pitch winding, concentrated and distributed winding. So different is armature winding classification can be given as single layer and double layer winding, full pitch and short pitch winding, concentrated and distributed winding. Single layer and double layer winding is single layer is one coil side occupies the total slot area. Coil side per slot, usually only in small AC machines. Double layers, coil slides in 2 layers, top layer and bottom layer. Double layer winding are more common used in above 5 kilowatt machines. The advantage of a double layer winding over single layer winding is easier to manufacture and low cost of the coils. Fractional slot winding can be used. Corded winding is possible. Low leakage reactance and therefore better performance of the machine. Better EMF waveform in case of generators. Pole pitch will be it is the distance between the adjacent center of the pole faces of two adjacent poles is called pole pitch. Pole pitch is equal to total number of slots in the armature divided by number of poles. Pole pitch will be equal to 180-degree phase angle. Coil. Coil is a coil consists of two coil sides placed in two separate slots. This is one coil side and other one is the other side. Slot pitch. It is the angle phase. This is the phase angle between two adjacent slots. Phase angle between two adjacent slots. Coil span or coil pitch. It is the distance between the two coil sides of the coil. Two sides of the coil. From the diagram itself, you can understand this. Full pitch and short pitch winding you have. Full pitch winding is if the coil span is equal to the pole pitch, then the winding is called full pitch winding. Coil span is equal to coil pitch. So E1 volt, E2 volt. So this is first slot and this is your second N plus 1 slot. The difference between these two will be given as your 180-degree electrical. Short pitch winding is if the coil span is less than the pole pitch, it is called a short pitch winding. So here, instead of giving the entire, so E2 will be giving in between. So slot 1 will give in, the other one will be slot n plus 1, but it will be divided here. So that will be minus alpha. So 180 minus alpha will be your coil span or coil short pitch winding. Advantage of short corded winding or corded pitches: copper is saved, mechanical strength of the coil is increased, induced EMF is improved. Slot angle: the angular displacement between any two adjacent poles in electrical degree. So slot angle beta is equal to 180 degree divided by number of slots per pole, or you can take it as 180 divided by n. Next is concentrated and distributed winding. Concentrated pitch factor or coil span factor or short corded factor, it's Kp or Kc. Pitch factor is defined as the ratio of EMF induced in the short pitch winding to the EMF induced in the full pitch winding. So pitch factor Kp is equal to EMF induced in the short pitch winding to the induced EMF in the full pitch winding. So the vector sum of the induced EMF per coil divided by arithmetic sum of the induced EMF per coil. From here you can see this. This is your arithmetic sum. So the total will be A to B. So the vector sum will be equal. Vector sum EMF is equal to AB is equal to AC plus CB. Kp is equal to AC plus CB divided by AD plus BD. So Kp is equal to AD cos alpha by 2 plus BD cos alpha by 2 divided by AD plus BD. AD is equal to BD from here, from the diagram itself. So Kp is equal to 2AD cos alpha by 2 by 2AD. So 280 AD get cancelled down. So Kp is equal to cos alpha by 2. You can take it as Kp or Kc also. So this is called as pitch factor or coil span factor or short corded Kp or Kc. Distribution factor or breadth factor. Distribution factor is defined as the ratio of the EMF induced in the distributed winding divided by EMF induced in the concentrated winding. Distribution factor Kd is equal to vector sum of EMF per coil divided by arithmetic sum of EMF per coil. So he'll be coil in E in coil 1, E in coil 2, E in coil 3. So when you have this up to the total will be from here to A to N. So it will become N alpha like that. So this is how it will be. So E1, E2, E2. So three-phase winding is spread for 120 degree. So time phase angle 120 will be EA, EB, and EC. This is for one. This is the space for 60 degree. So the total will be the vector sum will be from A to D. That will become a vector sum. So distribution factor Kd is vector sum of the EMF induced divided by arithmetic sum of the EMF induced. Arithmetic sum will be AB plus BC plus BD. Vector diagram will be AB is equal to A into X plus X into B. So R sin beta by 2 plus R sin beta by 2. So here it will come beta by 2. So arithmetic sum will be 3 into, because 3 phases you are having. Okay, so 3 into 2 into R sin beta by 2. If M is the number of slots of the distribution, then you have M into 2R sin beta by 2. So the vector sum will be AD is equal to AE plus ED. The vector sum will be AE is equal to ED, that will be equal to R sin M beta by 2. So the total KD is equal to sin M beta by 2 divided by M sin beta by 2. Causes of voltage drop in the alternators because of effective resistance, leakage, armature effective resistance, armature leakage reactance, and armature reactance. So the armature leakage reactance is XL. Three major components: one, slot leakage reactance, end winding leakage reactance, and the tooth tip leakage reactance. Synchronous reactance per phase. So XS is equal to XL plus XA, where XA is the frictionless armature reaction reactance. Synchronous impedance will be ZS is equal to RA plus J into XS. So this armature reaction, you have effect of armature flux on the main flux. Usually you have the main, in the field finding, you'll have the main flux, and in the armature finding, you'll have the armature flux. The effect of the armature flux on the main field flux, the armature reaction effects depends upon the power factor of the load. Your UPF is cross magnetizing. UPF means you have unity power factor, and you can use as resistors load. Lagging power factor, it is demagnetizing, and you can use as inductive load. Leading power factor, this magnetizing, and you can use capacitive load. So this is the armature reaction that will be taking place in your motor. The effect of armature flux on the main flux. Armature reaction depends upon the power factor of the load. UPF is cross magnetizing, that is you're using a resistive load. Lagging power factor demagnetizing, you're using your inductive load. Leading power factor magnetizing, you're going to use your capacitive load. So use UPF is pure resistive load. This is called as the main flux, and this is the armature flux. Then lagging power factor is purely inductive load. It is demagnetizing. The main flux is here. Here it is load current lags the voltage by 90 degree. Main flux decreases the DC excitation. So that is why you have it is demagnetizing in nature. Next is leading power factor. It is purely capacitive load, magnetizing. Leading voltage by load current leads the voltage by 90 degree. Main flux increases DC excitations. So voltage regulation. What is voltage regulation? Voltage regulation of an alternator is defined as the change in terminal voltage from no load to full load divided by full load voltage. Percentage voltage regulation is equal to no load voltage minus full load voltage divided by full load voltage into 100. E0 minus V divided by V into 100. There are different methods available to determine the voltage regulation of an alternator. First one is direct loading method. Next one is synchronous impedance method or EMF method. Next one is ampere turns method or MMF method. Zero power factor method or portrait triangle method. ASI modified from MMF method and two reaction theory. These are the different kinds where we're going to find out the voltage regulation of the alternator. Voltage regulation is nothing but of an alternator is defined as the change in terminal voltage from no load to full load divided by full load voltage. Percentage of voltage regulation is equal to no load voltage minus full load voltage divided by full load voltage. Percentage voltage regulation is equal to E0 minus V divided by V into 100. The direct loading, so this is the alternator. The field is excited given by the DC supply, and the three-phase load, any load you can add, you can have a UPF or LPF or it's a leading power factor. So what you're going to do here is you're going to excite your field winding with the help of a DC supply. Then you're going to close down the switch and you're going to add your load. For each load, what you're going to have is you're going to count all the current and the voltage. So the star connected armature is to be connected to the three-phase load. The field winding is excited by a separately DC supply. To control the flux, that is a control to the field winding, a rheostat is inserted in series with the field winding. The prime mover drives the alternator at synchronous speeds. EPH is directly proportional to flux from the equation. What is the equation? 4.4 into F into phi into TPH into Z into KP into KC into KD. Therefore, percentage regulation is equal to EPH minus VPH divided by VPH into 100. For high capacity alternators, that is much full load cannot be simulated or directly connected to the alternator. Hence, this method is restricted only for small capacity alternators. Synchronous impedance method or EMF method. This is otherwise called as pessimistic method. Okay, this otherwise called as pessimistic. We're going to predetermine with the help of this one. We're going to find out for OCC test and short circuit test. So here again, the field winding of the alternator is excited by the supply voltage, by the DC supply. Then the TPS switch, that is now we're going to calculate VOC and the IF current. This method is also called as EMF method. The method requires following data to calculate the regulation. The armature resistance per phase. Open circuit characteristics, which is a graph of open circuit voltage against the field current. This is possible by conducting open circuit test on the alternator. Short circuit characteristics, which is a graph of the short circuit current against field current. This is possible by conducting short circuit test on the alternator. ZS is calculated, RA is measured, and XS is obtained from the given armature current and power factor. EPH is determined and regulation is calculated. So this is the open circuit, and this is the short circuit. And this one, we're going to find out ZS value from the open circuit characteristic. From the full load current, we're going to find out what is the open circuit characteristic, that is ZS. So ZS is equal to VOC per phase divided by IAC. IAC is the short circuit current. So phase EMF on open circuit divided by phase current on short circuit. So ZS is equal to OT to VOC OD divided by OE. So OD divided by OD divided by OE. So the regulation, from the regulation, ZS is equal to RA plus XS the whole square. XS is equal to ZS minus RA the whole square. RA can be found from this circuit. So EPH is equal to VPH cos phi plus IA RA the whole square plus VPH sin phi plus or minus IA into XS the whole square. This plus or minus determines whether it is lagging power factor or leading power factor. Plus indicates lagging power factor, minus indicates leading power factor. So from this, you can find out what is the voltage regulation. Regulation is equal to EPH minus VPH divided by VPH into 100. So the phasor diagram for loaded alternator. When I'm going to use my unity power factor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider this triangle. From the triangle OBC, OC square is equal to OB square plus BC square. EPH whole square is equal to OA square plus BC square. plus AB the whole square plus BC the whole square. EPH the whole square is equal to VPH plus IARA the whole square plus IA to AXS. So EPH is equal to root of VPH plus IARA the whole square plus IA into XS the whole square. So phasor loaded with alternator, this is for lagging power factor. EPH is equal to VP root of VPH cos phi plus IARA the whole square plus VPH sin phi plus IARA. So I'm going to consider this one. So I'm going to consider this triangle, this whole triangle for this one. From there, I have got this equation. Same way, I'm going to consider this triangle. From this, I'm going to have I'll have a minus from my leading power factor. So plus means it is lagging power factor. Minus means it is leading power factor. So advantages of synchronous impedance method is, the main advantage of this method is value of synchronous impedance Z from any condition of load can be calculated. Regulation of the alternator at any load condition and load power factor can be determined. Actual load need not be connected to the alternator. This method can be used for very high capacity alternators. Limitation is, the main limitation of this method is that it gives large values of synchronous reactance. This leads to high values of percentage regulation than the actual results. This method is called as pessimist limit method. Next is MMF method or ampere turns method. This method is determining the regulation of the alternator and is also called as ampere turn method, MMF method. This method is based on the results of open circuit test and short circuit test as on the alternator. For any synchronous generator, alternator requires MMF, which is a product of the field current and the turns of the windings for two separate purposes. It must have an MMF necessary to induce the rated terminal voltage on the open circuit. It must have an MMF equal to opposite that of the armature reaction. So OCC and OC and SC test are connected as well. So from that we have IF1 as the field current produce the voltage, VPH plus IAPH RA cos phi. IF2 is the field current produced required to produce a given armature current on SC, and it will be added to the angle 90 plus or minus 5. For the total field current, EPH is found out from OCC and the regulation is calculated. So from this only you will get your IF1 and F1. And so we are going to use here the armature reaction is taken into consideration. So that is why this is called as optimistic method. So zero power factor method or Portier method. This method is also called as Portier method. In this operation of any alternator, voltage drop occurs. Armature resistance drop, armature reactance drop, mainly due to EMF quantity, and armature reactance is mainly due to MMF quantity. In synchronous impedance method, all the quantities are treated as MMF quantities. In MMF method, all the quantities are treated as MMF quantities. So the repair method is based on separation of armature reactance and armature reactance. This reactor is called as Portier. This one.